There I am. I'm going live. I'm just filling up my water here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day one and Stop the Stress Fluff Cycle. I am so excited you're here because again, the next 3 days we are going to be focusing on how you can love up your nervous system and empower, it's a key word, put a big star beside it, your stress response to reduce hormonal fluff. Okay, I see you guys jumping on. Say hi, because I love these trainings to be interactive. I'm looking at my, because if I pour, it always spills out if it hasn't drained yet. I love these trainings to be interactive, these coachings to be interactive. So say hi. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay for me. So we make sure that we are connecting with everybody. Hello, I see you guys all jumping on. Amazing. I see thumbs up. Yay, hello, hello. Some admin, just to start off before we really dive in today to talk about the norm, okay, the norm. And I'll talk about our agenda for today. I want to keep these as short and as impactful and actionable because I don't want you guys spending your whole day, your busy day, overthinking, hey, my Chrissy. We have a lot of 3Mers in here as well. This is going to be a great recap for you, either in the 3M Accelerator or our signature 4-month 3M system. A great recap for you. Everything that we're going to be talking about the next 3 days. And the goal of this 3-day reset is for you to be enlightened and to really see how this stress response and certain triggers of our nervous system go beyond more me time, more self-love, more self-care, and really matching you where you're at now in this season of life. And please recognize the seasons of life change. Sleep, water, stress, as all my 3Mers and those of you that may become 3Mers down the road learn, are things that we always have to have a pulse on. There's no 10-day sleep stress challenge that are going to negate everything. So your body's triggered fat burning hormones, and we release the fluff naturally. All these, it doesn't work that way. We always have to have a pulse on it. So a goal of this challenge is for you to recognize where you are at and how it's more than just saying, oh my gosh, I need to meditate. Oh my gosh, I need a gratitude journal. Oh my gosh, I need to do another thing. Okay. And after the 3 days, I really want you to have a feeling of lightness. Okay. And in mind and in body, I want you to start feeling more stable energy through the day, less cravings, because when we're going to learn more about this tomorrow, our physiology is in a heightened state of stress response. Right away, this is like, I need carbs, I need sweets, I need it now. It's not about willpower. It's not about you being strong enough. It's actually a physiological response. Okay. So more stable energy, less cravings. Again, a sense of understanding and an empowerment and a sense of confidence around how you can't control the situation, but you can control your response to the situation, if that makes sense. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. That's what I'd love to see. I would love to do these resets, these challenges, and I always want to be forthcoming about what we should expect after 3 days. And everybody's different. It depends on how much healing you need coming in. And again, this is just the start, right? So if you're like, well, I don't feel light after 3 days, keep going. Okay, keep going. But that is the goal. Okay, lightness, energy, less cravings, and feeling empowered and confident, because you're going to be learning strategies to help you with your stress response. Okay. And after the challenge, I will be talking offer for you guys. It's not like, okay, bye. Okay. An offer just for you guys. Either we talk, or there's going to be what you'll hear me reference all the time, the 3M Accelerator. Because the reality is the two big players, and please write this down. Hopefully you guys all have your notebooks. You all have your notebooks. I see, hey, Amy, Sherry, have your notebooks with you, because the big players, the two big hormone players in the decades of 40s, 50s, 60s, plus, everything cascades onto these guys is insulin and cortisol. Everything. So we can talk about your estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. We can talk about your thyroid. We can talk about your human growth hormone. We can talk about ghrelin and leptin sensitivity and all these things. But the big two players are cortisol and insulin. And obviously, cortisol is a nervous system response to a stressor. So we're going to be diving in that obviously the next 3 days, but its partner insulin in there. Those two will dictate whether you are releasing fat for energy and are metabolically reactive in your 40s, 50s, or 60s or not. All comes down to those two. Okay, so again, going back to the offer at the end of our little time together, this is where we're going to be taking what we're learning in these 3 days and then coupling it with the insulin side as well and keep progressing together. Okay. And you guys heard a bit about my journey. The cortisol part for me was my big differentiator. When I get asked, Moni, I'm 50 now, but in my early 40s, I felt the shift like many of us do. And, this is not about being perimenopausal, postmenopausal, perimenopausal, all these things. But what was the biggest shift for you? What was the biggest change? It was like me recognizing where I was in my stress response and obtaining tools and strategies to help. Okay. That helps get those fat burning hormones working for you because I was eating clean and working out. Who's eating clean and working out if it feels stuck? Okay. Insulin, cortisol. Okay. Put a high five because we're not alone. And I want you to move away from thinking that you have to manage stress. It's another thing that you have to manage. If you've heard me talk before, you've heard me say numerous times that we need a shot of tequila before we need another thing on our plate to manage. And you, again, learning that depending on what season of life that you're in, we can train resiliency. We can have strategies to help us in our stress accommodation. Okay, so we have that feeling of lightness and control over what's happening. All right. So does that make sense, guys? Amazing. What we're going to cover today, a little agenda. And again, if you don't have a notebook, please go run and grab some scrap paper or something. Okay. What we're going to cover today is how do we know that we're stressed? Okay. How do we know? What does it mean for me? Right? Because, if you're like me, I'm like, pretty laid back. Things kind of roll off my back. Do you have a bunch of micro stressors adding up? Or do you have big chronic things happening? Okay. How do you know that you're stressed? Then we want to dive into what is your norm. This one is huge. Okay. I talk all the time with our 3Mers about your journey always begins with your belief system. Okay. And in here, we're going to be talking about perceived beliefs, okay, around stress, because your belief system is going to dictate your behaviors. Not the 10-day challenge, not the 3-day reset, not the online Beachbody coach screaming at your ear to do another squat. Okay. It's your belief system is going to dictate your behaviors, and that will dictate routines to develop habits long-term. It's not about doing something repeatedly every day for 30 days. Okay. Very 1995. Okay. Your belief system. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about where you are at in your stress response cycle. Also huge, because everybody's different, and how we heal where you're at in that stress response cycle is different. Okay. Because we have to heal to get out of it. We have to heal to allow our different nervous systems that come into play that will allow fat burning hormones to be triggered, to allow us to use fats and carbohydrates for energy. That's what an efficient metabolism is as we age. Your metabolism doesn't decrease or slow down as you age. It's environmental factors and lifestyle, okay? And decreased muscle mass that affect our metabolism as we age. And then I'm going to leave you with some actions, okay? Actions that'll take 10 minutes or less. Okay, it's not meant to be homework that you have to do and hand in, but some actions I want you to do and focus on for today, and that will definitely segue and precipitate into tomorrow. Okay, precipitate. Triple word score. All right, so let's dive in. if you, it's funny, we have like over 100 people in this group, but there's small of you, only some of you in the Facebook group, but that's okay. For those of you who are here, you saw me put a poll out asking where you are at in your, from 1 to 10 in what your stress level is right now. And again, no judgment zone. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just to bring awareness to the situation and for you not to compare and to recognize that you're unique. Because this is what we have to remember. Stressors are what are happening to you. Stress is your response to it. Stressors are what's happening to you. Stress is your response to it. And your response to it is unique because it's yours. Okay? Whether it be acute or chronic. And we're going to dive into our 5-step approach more on Wednesday that will talk about stressors. And, you know, it'd be amazing, again, like I always say, if we lived in this bubble and all those stressors would just bounce off of us and we can live in calmness and flow and connection and the state that we want to be in. I'm going to be talking about that here in a few. It's not reality. Okay, so I'm going to give you those 5 strategies again that we're talking about and that we do with our clients more on Wednesday. Okay, but I really want you to get real about what you're feeling, and more importantly, where is it coming from? Okay, that's what we're going to dive in today. What you're feeling, and more importantly, where is it coming from, physically and emotionally? Okay, so just recognizing where you're at. So how do we know that we're stressed? If you saw some of my emails before this 3-day reset, I talked about a lot of it in there, right? And really it comes down to, again, what are you feeling physically and emotionally? Okay, what are the symptoms? And they can be very subtle. You know, those symptoms of too high cortisol, okay, which is one of our main stress hormone responses. Or it could be too low cortisol. Again, we're going to be diving into this a little bit more. But irritability is a big one. That was me, quick to snap. Husband brings home the wrong toothpaste, and you're like, "Wah!" And then back of your mind, you're like, it's just toothpaste. Okay, just made a mistake. Overwhelmed. Okay, I know as busy go-getter women, a lot of type A's in here, doers, we do not like the word overwhelm. Okay, it makes us feel like we're failures, we're not doing enough. But the reality is, if you're feeling that brain fog, if there's always something to do, something to go to complete, something to take care of, something to worry about, okay, we're overwhelmed. And things that used to be easy maybe for us to do become tougher. Okay, we're overstimulated. Anxiety is a big one. Okay. Anxiety, we're hearing that word more and more and more. We hear it a lot with children now, and we're hearing a lot with women, okay, middle age and above, okay, 40s, 50s, 60s, and plus. Okay, you're not alone. I really encourage you, if you do have some anxiety, that we have a lot of therapists in, not a lot, we have a few therapists in 3M. I can refer you out. But it's very important to get a tap on it and a pulse on it, okay? And I know someone, I can't remember who it was, I think, Tanya, it was you, that was very open and saying, like, I was ready to go to the doctor to get anti-anxiety medication because I just can't function, okay? But I'm scared because I don't like this, what can happen if I take that medication, okay? Fair, okay? Again, I'm a big proponent for using food and brain power to heal, but there is a time for Western medicine as well. My point is, if you're feeling it's overtaking your life, the anxiety part, please talk to somebody. All right. Another subtle symptom that we can see if we're thinking about stress and am I stressed is sleep. Okay, your sleep is compromised. It's either difficult for you to fall asleep or stay asleep. Sleep is one of those things as we age. It's not going to be beautiful, you know, solid 8 hours sleep like we may have had before. We're going to have periods of REM, light sleep, deep sleep, all these. We just have to make sure we have a healthy sleep cycle. And if we do awaken, we fall back asleep quite easily. Weight gain, who feels that? Okay. The fluffiness around the middle, okay, we're going to be obviously talking about that because it's one of the main reasons and the outcomes we want to love up on our nervous system. okay, to trigger certain hormones to help us burn the fluff naturally, to get rid of the fluff naturally. Tiredness, okay, it's dragging. Wake up tired, 3 p.m. crash, Amy, all of these things. Yeah, 3 p.m. crash. Okay, so I sharing these again because we have to bring reality to the situation. Okay, a lot of us don't know that we're stressed because, again, everyone's busy. Everyone around us is doing the same thing. Okay, until we look at the main symptoms that we might be feeling. And that's how we get to heal. Okay, we look at different hormones that have different symptoms. Okay, low estrogen has different symptoms. Okay, insulin sensitivity and resistance have different systems. Same here with your stress response. Okay, so you don't even know how stressed you are until you look at all your symptoms and see that the big multiplier, okay, the big multiplier is your stress. Okay, your stress response, specifically the cortisol hormone. Okay. And this is a big one. And let me know if you can relate. This was big to me. Stress, okay, it desensitizes us. Okay, I did a video about it in the opt-in page. When you guys join this reset, you become numb to it. It becomes the norm. Every day's busy. How are you doing, Moni? Busy. Just busy. Things are good. You know, family's happy, healthy, but busy. Stress. Okay. We numb it, and we may think that we're having these periods of our day that we're coming back into calm, but really in actuality you're not getting there, and or you're not staying there long enough to trigger your key parasympathetic nervous system. Again, we'll be talking about this more tomorrow. Tomorrow is more of our science day. Okay, your part of your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, you're not staying in a state of calm long enough for it to do its job. Okay, which is when everything starts to decrease, other things get to be optimized. How we naturally burn fluff for energy. Okay, I shouldn't say burn because we don't burn fat, but how we release fluff for energy, how we have an effective metabolism, how our thyroid hormones can work and function, how estrogen can be rid from the body if we need to, etc. And research has shown more and more now, and I think it was Harvard Medical School. I have to remember where I got this stat. I usually only use two resources for things like this. But it takes around 30 minutes to an hour or more a day to trigger that parasympathetic, calm, safe state to happen. Meaning, love it if you meditate for 5, 10 minutes. Love it that you work out for 45 minutes a day. Okay, but it needs more than that. Okay, and I know you're thinking, you're like, well, great, Moni, I can't spend all day trying to kumbaya and get into this nice relaxed state because now I'm getting stressed about being stressed because I have no time to calm down. Who feels like that? Because that was me. Okay, so that again, today we're going to recognize where we are in your stress response, and then we're going to be talking about strategies about how we can bring ourselves into that parasympathetic state of calm state more often in our days, because that is really key. Because a lot of us don't realize you're calm until you see a calm state, right? You don't know because you can't compare to a calm state unless you're in Tahiti for a week, and then for most of us it takes 2 days to sort of calm down because you're the one packing up the whole house to get everyone going. Right? Then you calm down for 3 days and then you got to jet back home and get right back to it. Right? So we don't know what calm looks like or feels like, many of us. And that's 100% normal because everyone around us is running at the same speed. Everyone around us is running at the same speed. And let's be very realistic and honest. Again, this is a safe place. And this was me, 100%. We equate being stressed and busy to success. Okay, I'm being honest. We equate it to appreciation. We equate it to being loved sometimes. Okay. We're doing more for others. We're helping you. We're nurturing you. We're getting you out of a bind. We're listening to you. Okay. And that's like a badge of honor for many of us. Okay. We equate it to success. So again, this goes back to what I want to dive into right now is ours belief system around stress. Okay. Because again, it's so easy to say, okay, I'm going to do my breathing techniques that Moni's taught me to do. I'm going to sit in quiet. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to do all these, stress accommodation techniques to try to build resiliency. But where is your belief system around stress? So let's go back to growing up. Okay, growing up. How did your mom handle stress? Or whoever your caregiver was, how did they handle stress? How did they rest? Okay, what was their sense of calm like? Okay, did you have the selfless mom that was doing everything for everyone else and now has run into some health challenges? Okay, or maybe she's dry and bitter because, resentful because she's done so much for so many people over the decades and years. Maybe you see that in you, that you just don't even know what you want anymore. Okay. Was it, and this was me, right? The dad gets home from work and the mom gets resentful, mad because he sits and rests on the couch for half an hour, 45 minutes before dinner. Okay. And you equate that, rest as being bad. Okay. You should be helping, you should be doing, come do this. Okay. And then we maybe have an overreaction mode in there. So the big question is, where are your stress wounds from? Because it is how you deal, if you will, or react to stress. Okay, what your stress response is has a lot to do with what you've learned and what your perceived, what rest is. Okay, mine was big time. Again, being open and honest here, was that rest is weak. Okay, that if you're sitting, you should be doing, get the stuff done. Okay, that's sitting and relaxing was weak. And if you're sitting and relaxing, you're doing your taxes. Okay? Right? I just saw that, and that's how I was raised. Okay, we had literally designated times, because my parents are from South America, but there's designated times to relax. It was siesta time, and that was it. And maybe that was great. We had this designated time, but guess what? Over here in North America, they didn't really adopt that nap time between 3 and 4 or 5 or whatever it was, siesta time, because guess what? I was at school and sports and doing all the things, and mom was busy working, ER nurse, shift work. Dad was working, dragging us around, to our events and sports, my brother and I. We're never sitting unless we're on vacation. Okay, and then it was relax, enjoy. But that's what I learned. Can anyone relate to that? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay, so I want you to think about, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about your actions and homeworks. And maybe stress wounds is a little bit harsh, but what your perceived beliefs around rest and calm is versus stressed and doing. Okay, because there is, we like to call it in the epigenetics, okay, when we're working on in between the ears, we like to call it the battle between masculine and feminine energy. And this has nothing to do with gender. This just has to do with the feeling of energy, because masculine energy is a lot about the doing. It's a lot about the accomplishing. It's a lot about the fixing. It's a lot about the next goal. You get the goal, but what's the next goal? You get the goal, but what's the next goal? Feminine energy is a lot about the present. Okay, it's a lot about the now. And embracing feminine energy, you embrace a self-connection, okay? Self-connection, where there's just sort of like a heightened sense of confidence. And I know confidence can be a very fleeting word, but when we have more balance between the masculine and feminine energy, the feminine energy, you're in a place where you're even like, okay, I haven't even lost an inch yet, but I'm super proud of myself. I love myself, and I know that it will come. And I'd love to be stronger and leaner. And I'm taking the steps to get there, and it will come. Rather than masculine energies like, I got to eat clean. I got to do this. I got to work out Orange Theory 4 times a week. I got to. Okay, see the difference? Okay, let me know in the chat, guys. Okay, see the difference? So the key here is not to be doing more, but catching yourself in the moments, okay, between that battle and masculine energy. Maybe that's a whole another training that I do, okay, because it's a big topic, that battle of doing, and being present in the now, okay? And we want to have more of that sense of calm. And again, that's why you're here, because we can move into our desires and our wants that we have for ourselves in our life with more ease, because we know that we're worthy and we're valuable. And it's not just like, I have to, I should, I have to, I should. Okay, being battled on you all the time. Okay, we're connected with it. Makes sense? Give me a thumbs up, guys. Makes sense? Okay, maybe you guys are all pondering like, oh my gosh, my mom did do that. Or my mom did everything for everybody else. Or she did get mad at my dad for sitting on the couch. Or, okay, just as an example. Okay, thank you, Sherry. So I want to talk about now going to the 4 stages, the 4 phases rather, of your stress response. And these are key. So please take notes. Okay, these are key. And there's 4 big ones. Okay, some nutritionists and people who study the mind may say there's 5, but I like to keep it simple at 4. Number 1 is the state that we'd like to be in more often than not. But the reality is, unless we're living on our own private island and have a chef, a cleaning lady, a taxi driver, everyone doing everything for us, it's not a reality to be in the state all the time, 24/7. But we do want to have strategies and tactics to bring us back. And that is the state of calm and ease. And in this state, we feel safe, we feel grounded, we feel focused on what we want and why we want it. We feel connected, again, like I said, with ourselves, but also with others. There's fun, there's play, there's laughter. We're regulated, okay? We're regulated. And when a challenge comes up, you respond to it with ease, and then you're coming back down, okay? We want to be here most of the time. And again, it's not realistic 24/7, okay? Unless anyone have that friend that's just like, da, da, da. And you're like, oh my God, you drive me crazy. Because she's just like, yeah, it happened, okay? And we have to recognize too that there's different seasons of life. There may be a season of life that we feel like this for weeks, months at an end. And there may be a season of life that all of a sudden it switched. My mom fell and broke her hip. Oh my gosh, I got to take care of this. Okay. And I have a huge project due. And then, my son's moving back home and all the things, right? But the goal, again, is to have the tools to get you back to the state as quickly as possible. Because in this state, this is where our fat burning hormones work. This is when we're not in a state of fight or flight or freeze. Okay? This is where we have a state of rest and digest and process. This is where your hormones get to work for you and not against you. Perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, does not matter. Okay? Number 1, stress and ease. Calm and ease, sorry. Second phase of stress is overstimulation. This is a stage where you may feel irritable, okay, short-fused. It can be a strung out, anxious state. Okay, it's very common. You tend to take on too much here. You're doing, you're doing, you're going, you're going. You never feel like there's enough time in the day. Okay, you're always doing more. You feel it's very hard to rest. When you rest, you cannot shut off your brain. Your brain's thinking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and what's next and what do I have to do and where's my list. Okay, even when we're sitting and trying to rest, we're thinking about all the things. Your brain doesn't shut down. Therefore, we feel like it's hard to sleep. Okay, to either fall asleep or stay asleep. Your mood is quite snappy because of that. Okay, eating the apple too loud. Did that with my husband. I was like, why is it like nails on the chalkboard? Because you're eating this apple so loud. Okay. And you look back on it, you're like, that's the silliest thing ever. Overstimulated state. Okay. You have a lot of things happening and you're just running to keep up. So a lot of the times women in this state rely on caffeine. Okay. Caffeine through the day to keep going. And if we spend too much time here, and we're not getting back to that calm and ease state and that safety and regulation, a grounding state, okay, then we move into exhaustion. Okay. Now, in exhaustion, this is where our energy starts to tank. Okay. This is where it doesn't matter how much you sleep, you wake up tired. Okay, you're always feeling tired. Your mood starts to drop. Depression, anxiety, motivation's lower, focus is lower. You just feel like you can't function. You're going through the motions, you're getting stuff done, but you're dragging your butt doing it. Okay, you don't care a lot of times when you're in an exhaustion state on physical appearance and how you look. You're like, I'm in my sweats and Lulus yet again. Okay, hair is, top knot, just shuffled. Okay, and a lot of times when we're getting into the exhaustion state, we want to start being alone. We're craving comfort in what we've known before that's given us comfort: Netflix and chips and wine and sitting alone, and we're not wanting to connect with people and be social as much. Okay, again, if we stay in this mode too long without, again, healing to bring us back, because here it takes some healing. You're from overstimulated to exhaustion, heal to get back into calm, okay, and grounded. If we don't, then we're leading into collapse and burnout. Okay, collapse and burnout. And this is where cortisol has actually flatlined. This is low cortisol. Okay, this is where with clients that get to this state, we need to work on building you up. Okay, we're overstimulated, we're bringing you down. Here we need to bring you up nutritionally, cortisol, hormonally. Okay, bring the cortisol up because you're totally depleted. And here in this stage, women are very apathetic. Okay, there's just no emotion around anything. Husband gets a new job, you're like, okay, great. Right? Friends celebrating a grandbaby, you're like, oh, that's amazing. You're just flatlined. Okay. There's just very low energy, very low vibe. You crave isolation even more now. Passions and hobbies, there's no desire to do them. Okay. You just look to numb out. Okay. You look to numb out. And this is, again, at the end of the day, you're not looking to have a chat and connect with your partner. You're looking for the wine, the food, the Netflix, the chill, the book, whatever it may be, and to be alone. Okay. So again, calm and ease. Okay. This is where we want to be. Won't be there 24/7, but we need to work to get back here, to heal, to get back here, to be grounded. Okay, to have desire, connection, play, fun. This is where we regulate. Okay, this is where our fat burning hormones get triggered. Okay, overstimulated, go, irritable, quick to snap, conversations are fast. Okay, can get PO'd pretty quick. We're running on coffee, always thinking about the next thing. It's hard for us to turn off. This leading to exhaustion, where energy starts to go. Okay, and then ultimately collapse and burnout, where cortisol is totally, which is our get stuff done hormone, as much as our stress hormone, has totally flatlined. Okay. Do you see how this is more than the strategies that we feel that social media and Google are sharing with us? Okay. This is why we heal in the 3M accelerator. Okay. When Google and they're saying, just breathe, just give gratitude, do yoga. Okay. Amazing practices. But again, it's a practice. Okay. And the reality is that women can spend so much time in collapse mode, months, years. I've had clients have had marriages fall apart because they're stuck in there and they're not healing and developing tools to get out. Or we're cycling through. Okay, we get calm for a little bit, then all of a sudden we're overstimulated. Oh my gosh, then we're exhausted. Then we're back to calm again, and then we're overstimulated, and we're circling through rather than being calm, overstimulated state because you have to deal with stuff that's happening in your life and it's crazy and you feel like you're just keeping your head above water life. Okay, but now we have to help to get back to calm. So we don't want to circle and we don't want to stay. We just want to go, we want to fluctuate. Makes sense? Okay. This is healing your stress response. Again, it's not saying if we could get rid of all the stressors, all the guys that, pissed you off, cutting you off, the boss that gives you the last minute project, the family member that calls and just bitches and whines and complains all the time on the phone. Okay. The financial, whatever it may be, we can get rid of all those. Amazing, but it's not reality. So now we have to work on what our response is and how we can respond, but then come back. Okay, to come back. And many, many women do not do this. Okay, they push through. They say to themselves, one more week of this busy, just one more week. It's just gonna be crazy for 1 week. This week is really busy. Okay, I'm just gonna get it done, get it done, get it done. And then they blink and now they're already into exhaustion mode and fatigue is totally set in. And it's now going to be harder and more healing needs to take place to bring you back into calm. Okay. And again, where we need time to heal and put emphasis into bringing us back to calm, many of us just ignore and push through. That was me. Let me know if that's you. I should see a lot of hands raising up because that's why you're here. Okay. And my goal for you, my goal for all of you is to understand what stage you are and what you're in and be able to have the tools to come back to a calm, safe, and regulated state. Okay. It's not about kumbaya. I always say that. And I'm not making fun of the meditation and journaling. I'm not, because again, please, they're great practices. We're going to be talking about more of this later, but it's more than that. Okay. It's more than that. And we're going to be talking about how this all impacts your fluff more tomorrow. Okay. The science on it. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of hands up. Me. Okay. So I want to wrap it up today with a little bit of homework and actions for you guys. Okay. Because we talked a lot about the feeling stuff, but again, it's so important. Number one, please write this down. Okay. And I'll put this in our Facebook group as well. I want you to think about what stage or what level of stress response you're in right now and why. Okay. You're welcome to share it with me or not. You can keep it private. I want you to recognize yourself. Maybe you're in a state of calm right now, but you know that SHIT is about to hit the fan in a couple of weeks because that's life. Okay. But maybe you're totally in an overstimulated state. Okay. Maybe you are in collapse. Okay. And the fact that you're here doing this is huge. Okay. So please, let's recognize what stage of stress response you're in right now and why that is. Okay. So I want you to write it down and then a couple points why. Second question is, I want you to write down your belief or perceived belief around stress and the reaction to it. Okay. What's your belief around it? I don't know. Just get through it. Don't talk about it. Just do it, which is big for all of us that are middle-aged, right? Because no one talked about this stuff before. No one talked about you're being stressed. Just go, do it. Don't complain. Okay? Write that down. Okay? I'm just giving you examples. But what is your perceived belief around stress? And more importantly, how you're dealing, your reaction to it. Are you ignoring it? Do you sit under a weighted blanket and have tea and cry? Okay? What did you see happen around you when you were growing up? Okay, what have you seen? Maybe what your mom did. Have you seen anything precipitate into you, or whoever raised you? Have you seen anything precipitate onto what you're doing? Recognize that. My mom, again, safe open place. I'm sharing with you, being vulnerable. My mom was an avoider. She was flight, full out flight. She would run, like they would argument with my dad. She would have her bag packed and out that door. And she'd be gone for a night or an hour. It depends. But we would sit there, my brother and I, and just be like, oh. She'd get mad at the dinner table, slam her hand down, and leave. Right? Like that. And I'm saying, I'm not talking about anger, but I'm talking about, obviously they have stressors in their lives. Rather than having an open dialogue and talking to her partner about it, she was escapist. She also didn't like face-to-face conversation. She'd write, okay, flight. Okay? Sometimes people are fighters, right? And they argue and get irritated and, okay, heightened emotions. Okay? And there's also freeze. Freeze are the people that are like, I'm overstimulated, but I want to fix. You're okay. Everyone's okay. It's going to be okay. Okay? You're in the moment, but you're just trying, like, you're fixing them to try to make you feel better. Okay? So I want you to think about, again, write down your belief or perceived belief around stress and your reaction to it. Okay? Number 3, I want you to write down your belief or perceived belief around what it means to be in a state of calm, rest. Okay? Does that only happen on vacation? Okay? Or maybe you had raised like, nope, mom needs to have her time. Okay? Nope, you say no to obligations. You don't have you say no to your sister calling and wanting to complain for the 15th time that day about whatever. Okay, you create boundaries. Okay, that crazy word. Oh, look at this. He's so funny. Like, he loves to be on my desk. We have a 6-month kitten. And he's probably going to knock everything over here. But we want to make sure. So let me get him down. So cute. That we recognize what it means, or we think it means. Because it's easy to say, oh, I need to be calmer. Okay, I can't let this bother me as much. It's easy to say that. Okay, but what's your belief around what that looks like? Okay. Brain work. Thank you. Brain work. Okay. This is the big stuff, though. We got to start here. We have to start here. Okay. We do the same thing when we talk about your body changing and all the good things in 3M. We got to start with your belief system first. What you believe is possible for you, what you believe that your stress is and relaxation is. What does that mean? Okay. So just to recap quickly, I want you to think about what stage of stress response that you're in and why. Number 2, I want you to write down your belief around stress. Okay. And number 3, I want you to write down your belief around calm. Okay. And tomorrow, again, it's going to be more of we're going to be talking a little bit more about the science behind our stress response and where we're at and what's going on with our physiology and why this is causing us to have diet resistant fluff, meaning it doesn't matter how clean you eat, how hard you work out, how much you belly breathe, your body is triggered to hold on to the fluff and why. Okay. And then again, we'll be talking about, based on where you are at in your stress response, some strategies and tactics to bring us back, okay, back into that calm. And I want you to start adopting them. Okay. Adopting them. Makes sense? How was that? Give me a thumbs up. Did you guys have some good ahas? Okay. Good ahas. I'd love for you to share in the comments what was your big, like, whoa, that made me think, or whoa, I've never heard it explained like that before. Put in the comments below. Jackie, love, good. Yeah, Jackie, this is good for you. We do this usually further on in the 3M. But this is good for you right now. Okay. for all of my 3M accelerators that are doing the next 3 days with us, this is really good for you. Sherry, eye-opening. Amazing. In what way? Welcome to share or not. Again, safe place. But bringing reality, a realization, I should say rather, a realization to where you are at and why is the perfect place to start. You're not just muscling through another thing that you think you should be doing and that should help you. Okay? We need to work on that response, that stress response, okay? That stress accommodation to help us get into a fat burning state naturally. Aha, I've never thought about all of the structure. Always muscled through everything. Yes, because we're doers. Leave it to Jackie. She's going to get it done. Leave it to Sherry. She'll get it done. Amy will get it done. Amy, right? As you were describing on the stage, I could relate to all of them. Because you know why, Amy? I bet it's because you probably felt them at different stages of your life. Okay, we've all felt probably the burnout stage where we just are so apathetic. Nothing seems to bring us joy or make us happy. We're just blah. Okay, we've been in the fatigue state where we're just dragging our butts. Everyone has been there. Or the overstimulated, where it's just go, 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 go. Interesting scientific fact, that state of of overstimulation, go, 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 women can last there twice as long as men. Typically around 9 months before we get right back, go right into exhaustion and burnout. And again, in 9 months of going, doing, overstimulated, it becomes norm. Then we don't even know what calm means. Because as women, we're so tough, we can last there for that long. Men, it's like 4 months and they're like burnt out, right? I had no idea it was so complex. Jill, yes, it's complex. The science behind it is heavy, but I want to make sure that this is simple for you guys, okay? So simple things, that's why I just focus on the little actions that I'm giving you every day to do. And again, we'll build on it from there, okay? Start like that. If your brain's spinning a little bit with the info, totally normal. Close the book on today, work on the little bit of action and homework, and then we'll talk tomorrow. How I'm never in the calm state and how much reaction is similar to what I saw in my upbringing. I know that was a big one for me too. Big one. The one time where I literally got mad and I slammed my head down and I left our dinner table with my family and I got into my bedroom and I was like, oh my God, I'm my mother. I'm my mother. I just did what she did. Right? Or when I'm sitting and I'm like, where's paper? I need to write down my to-do list. Where's my paper? And I'm like writing down frantically brain dumping everything on my head because I can't shut off my brain. Okay, that's my dad. Right? So it's amazing what we see. Okay. I've been in collapse for almost a year. Karen, then I'm so happy that you're here. Okay. There's a lot of healing that we need to do because if you're in collapse, okay, it's not about bringing your cortisol down. We actually have to bring it up. And we're going to be talking about that more over the next couple of days. Okay. Karen, for you, women that are in collapse, nutrition is so important. Okay. And we do not want to be in a caloric deficit. Okay, and we want to make sure that, again, we have a nutrition that are going to bring you back metabolically. We have to heal you first before we get into the fat burning state. Okay, collapse is bringing up. Okay, fatigue too is bringing up. Okay, again, I don't want to dive into too much. We'll talk about it more tomorrow and Wednesday. All right, guys, and all we want to do is avoid being like our mothers. I know, so true. So true. Okay, I love my mom. There's attributes I'll take with me for sure. But the way she was a flighter. She ran away. If there was a problem, she'd be like, pshee! If I can't solve it and fix it right now for everybody, I'd run. Okay, that's amazing when we recognize that and then try to heal ourselves to find out what's working for us. It's different. And I'm so happy you're here and that we're having this dialogue. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Any questions, please reach out to us. In the group, okay, tag me in it. Please don't DM me because I get DM'd so much it gets lost. Okay, email is also a great way. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.